So welcome everyone to our corporate Gita sessions. Let's start with the prayers which are on my screen. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam. साद्वैतम सावधूतम परिजना सहितम कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण पदान सह गणललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay, so we are reading chapter 4 verse number 19, I think. So Krishna in this chapter is telling that we should know what is really karma, what it really means by karma, because um, because by knowing what is karma we can know whether it will give a reaction or it won't give a reaction, what will be its result, or and that result will be beneficial for us or not beneficial for us, and ultimately will that result lead us to liberation, mukti. Okay, so that's why we need to know the intricacies of karma. So last time we discussed, Krishna says here the intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Now one may say, what are the intricacies? Well, the intricacies are action, forbidden action, and inaction. So forbidden action, as the name suggests, forbidden. Forbidden means should not be
Not to do.
yeah, not to do, should not be performed. So which laws is this talking about? Bhagavad Gita talking about that we should not be doing such activities. Well, from where do we get those kind of understanding that which activities are to be done, which are not to be done? Any idea? From which book do we come to know?
From this book
Engage in
itself, maybe.
Sorry? What?
engage in activities.
No. From where do we come to know what is a forbidden activity and what activity is a legal activity?
From this book itself. Like, we,
From
we
Bhagavad
came to know
Gita.
a few
See,
things
Bhagavad
from the
Gita,
earlier
uh,
chapters.
Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita does say certain things,
Mhm.
but then the whole Vedas is there. So from the Vedas we understand what is to be done, what is not to be done. So what is not to be done are the forbidden activities. Mhm. Just like in modern justice system we have the law books now, so it tells what is to be done, what is not to be done. Like one should not murder, one should not kill. It is there in modern law system, and it's there in the Vedas also, right? So that's a forbidden activity. And then what is the action? One should be truthful, honesty in his work, do work in a legal way, don't do crime, don't do ill social activities, like that. So that is karma, right? For which the government is going to respect you, it's not going to put you in jail. Similarly, the Vedas are there, the universal government is there, and they are looking at all our activities. And if we do forbidden activities, then we have to face the consequences. If we do good activities, then we face good consequences, right? Then what is this third thing? Inaction. Inaction means what?
In action means the person who is doing it. Supposing a person is murdering another person, or he is doing any this thing, that is called as in action.
Now, action is whatever activity you do. Inaction is whatever activity you do, the consequence is not there.
Mm.
The consequence is not there. Remember that.
I did not understand it. Like, could you please explain it?
Yeah. So, last time I gave two examples. I'll again repeat because this is the intricacy now. Now, I said we cannot do murder, right? Even in modern law book, one cannot do murder, right? Yes or no?
Yes, yes,
Ah.
yes.
Now, what I'm saying is murder can be inaction, meaning one may do murder and then he may not face the consequences. How can that happen? That is what is
Uh,
inaction.
Prabhuji, but if supposing a person murders anybody, then people will come to know, no, that he has
Yeah,
murdered.
yeah, people will come to know, everybody will know, government will know, police will know, everyone will know. But it is inaction. No
Yes.
one is going to do anything.
Mm.
If it's part of his duty,
Yeah. Now, that's what example I gave, that if a soldier kills enemies on the battlefield, then it's a murder that he has done. But when he comes back, the government, everybody garlands him and says, great, great job, right? Now, so the for the activity which was forbidden, there is no reaction for it. Why? Because he did it on the authority, on the order of the authority. If on the order of the authority, if somebody does, then there is no action. So there is no reaction to it. Then it is called inaction. Getting?
Mm.
This is what means by inaction, where one may do activity but there is no consequences. Now, let's say that same soldier who was glorified so much for his killings in the battlefield, he picks up a fight with his neighbor and he kills that neighbor. Now, what will happen?
He'll be put in the jail.
But he can protest and he can say, right, I killed hundreds of people.
No, no,
That time you didn't put.
that is given by the authoritative people. This is not given by authoritative people.
Yeah. So this is my own selfish activity. So to understand, now you have to understand the intricacies of action, right? Same action, but one has consequences, one doesn't have consequences. Then what to understand from this? The understanding is that, oh, what is the purpose of that action? Why it is done? And who ordained it?
Actually, Krishna orders Arjuna to fight. So that is action. And then if Krishna has not given any this thing at all, then that is a inaction.
No, it's not like that.
Mm.
Arjuna had this fear, right? I will kill and then so many sins will come upon me.
Mm.
Now Krishna is telling, in a battlefield, if you kill, you don't get sins.
Yeah.
If you fight it in that spirit, if you fight it in that spirit, and then he says that do it on my behalf. In the
Mm.
11th chapter, Krishna is going to say that do it on my behalf. I have already killed them. You to become the nimitta matra. So on the authority, sorry, on behalf of the authority, and that authority has to be, big authority, not like small authority, big authority. So Krishna is the supreme lord, right? So it's the biggest
Mm.
authority there.
Mm.
So when he says to you fight, then it becomes an inaction.
Mm.
Inaction doesn't mean no action, it means action without result, without consequences. So these are the intricacies now. Even in our modern times, there are intricacies to action, right?
Mm.
Like I
So,
told you about the
Prabhuji,
soldier. So I
so
told you about the
Prabhuji,
soldier.
uh,
Similarly,
uh,
in from the Vedic standpoint, also we have to understand what is inaction, what is action, what is forbidden action. Yeah, question.
Prabhuji, if the government, that is, if the soldiers kill the terrorists, and because the government has given the authority, that means inaction, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then the government has not given, and the person kills somebody, it is action.
Yes. And
Okay.
it is an action where there is consequences.
Ah.
And if the action itself was forbidden,
Mm.
then it becomes then the consequences are even more severe.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm.
like that. So these are the intricacies of action. Now there are intricacies of tax also, right? Tax saving. Do you know? Like some
Yes,
tax
yeah,
saving
yes,
can be
Prabhuji.
really called
Yes,
as
Prabhu.
tax saving, while people show something under tax saving, but actually it is not saving. It is they are creating a cheating, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So the action will be the same, but with what purpose it is done, on what authority is done, in what reasoning it is done, that is the intricacies that we need to understand. So Krishna says, in certain inaction we will see action, meaning certain action inaction will be there. Like one won't get a reaction by doing that activity, but he gets a reaction. While one should get a reaction, but he doesn't get any reaction. These things can happen, right? Like we talk about fighting, we talked about killing on the battlefield versus killing on the street. Killing on the battlefield, action or inaction, because it is done on the authority. Killing on the street, that same murder activity becomes action. You're getting this point?
Prabhuji, can you please
Yes,
repeat
Prabhuji.
again, Prabhuji?
Yeah, let's see. So this action, forbidden action, inaction, legal action. Okay, let's put it simple words, just to help us understand. Legal action, that means actions that should be done, right?
Within the law limits. Yes.
Yeah, it's say within, because we are studying Vedas, right? So within Vedic laws. Okay. Forbidden
Hmm.
action, actions against Vedic laws, not to be done. Inaction, let's put it simple: action without consequences. Now this action can be sometimes legal, can be sometimes forbidden, but because it is under authority, it is without consequences. Okay. See, even legal actions are under authority only, but here the authority will be God, the Supreme
Bona
Lord.
fide spiritual master.
Uh-huh.
Krishna.
Spiritual
Yeah,
master,
yeah. Spiritual
spiritual
master.
master.
See, spiritual master should align with God's will. Okay. If he's not aligning
Yes.
that, then again it will be problematic. So let's put it like this: it's action
Krishna.
under God, then it is without consequences. Okay. So this is inaction. So sometimes in some action we may see inaction, and sometimes in an inaction we may see action. Like the soldier killing in battlefield, inaction. Why? Because it was done on.
On government has assured him to
Yeah.
you go out.
Okay. Okay. I will same thing. He's killing on battlefield, innocent bystanders. Now what it becomes?
It's a crime.
It's a crime. It becomes a forbidden action. Let's killing enemies in battlefield. Right? So you are understanding this forbidden
Yes.
action or action, and how that
Yes.
same thing happens.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Yeah. So this is what the intricacies is. See, the action is the same, killing,
Hmm.
and the place is also the same, battlefield. So we may end up saying, okay, inaction, inaction. See, if you read news, right? Recently there was a Australian soldier.
Hmm.
So he killed many enemies in Afghanistan.
Hmm.
Long time back, 2006,
Hmm.
2007 time frame. But what happened is he killed innocent people also. So recently it came out that he actually killed innocent people also.
Hmm.
So before they didn't knew na, so they gave him all medals and glory, and he was there everywhere. But now it has found that he killed innocent people also, so they took away all his medals. So from inaction it turned out to be forbidden action. Now he could be jailed also.
Hmm.
So we need to understand these intricacies. Getting? Now you understand why we need to understand intricacies of action and inaction.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So Krishna says the same thing, because sometimes in inaction we may see action, and in action we may see inaction. Okay.
Hmm.
So that's what we need to answer. So let's move to today's verse. Yassa sarves samarambha kama salpalka varjitah jnanagni dagda karmanam tam ahu panditam buddha. One who understood One is understood to be full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be worker of for whom reactions have been burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. Now, how to perform inaction? So this is the answer. If we perform our duty devoid of desire for sense gratification, devoid for desire that okay, I will enjoy out of this, then there is no reactions. Their reactions have been burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. So the word perfect knowledge is used, right? So he uses this perfect knowledge to give up the desire for sense gratification, because he knows he every work that I do, I should do it for the pleasure of Krishna, right? He says that in Bhagavad Gita, third chapter, Yajnaharta.
Karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. That one, Prabhuji?
Yes. Yajnaharta karmono anyata lokoyam karma bandhana. Tadahartam karma kaunteya ukta sangha samachara. Work done as a sacrifice of Vishnu has to be performed, otherwise it will cause bondage. Therefore, perform your prescribed duty for his satisfaction, for the Supreme Vishnu. In that way, you will always remain free from bondage. Now you understand? Same thing Krishna is saying. You give up the desire for sense gratification for your own personal reasoning and do it in a detached way, your duty. Then the reactions won't affect you. They will burn up by the fire of perfect knowledge. So last time I gave an example like raw peanut. If I sow in the field, what will I get?
That will become a plant.
Yeah, a plant will come out. Now I will first fry the raw peanut.
It will not come.
Then I will plant. Then I will sow in the field. Then what will
No,
happen?
it will not come.
No plant. Okay. So the fire has burnt away the seed.
Seed.
And even if you sow it, nothing will come out. So when does this happen? When we do all our activity without any sense gratification and for the satisfaction of the Supreme.
Supreme Lord.
Okay. Now Krishna was there present in front of Arjuna, so he could understand and he could do that activity. In our front, Krishna is not there. He's through his books and through spiritual master. Okay. And through Shastra, Sadhu, and Guru. Sadhu means those who have already lived. Um, the saints, the
Goswami.
sages. Yeah,
Goswamis.
the Goswamis who have already lived before us. You know what they did, what is my present Guru saying, and what is the Shastra saying? All three should align. Then we know, okay, I'm doing it for the pleasure of Vishnu.
Vishnu Lord.
Now, why this is necessary?
Prabhuji, but how will you come to know, Prabhuji? We are in that same line.
By the so it's a triangle, na Madaji? It's a triangle. There are three things to it. Sadhu, Shastras, and Guru. So sadhus are the previous acharyas. So we know their stories, we know what they have said, what they have done.
Yes.
And Shastra is in front of them, front of us. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, the Vedas are there. And then the Guru speaks, right? So all of these three things should match. Guru should speak what the sadhus have said previously. It should match. And what the Shastras are saying. Then we understand we are doing it for Krishna. Now, why this point is important? Can you tell me why this triangulation or proof of triangle, kind of why this is required?
Otherwise, it leads to a wrong path.
Yeah, otherwise Guru can lead us to a wrong path. See, we assume that the Guru is good, but sometimes the Guru may not be good, no? Like we see in today's world, there are many cheaters who say I am God, who say give me money and I will give relief you this and that, So for that reason, we need to know what the Shastras are saying, what the Sadhus are saying. If the Guru shows bamboo as sugarcane, and if we accept it, it is our fault, right? So we should know from the book that what do we know from the book? That sugarcane is sweet. So if the Guru gives us bamboo, we try to eat it and it doesn't come out sweet, then we know whatever he is saying is against the Shastras. It's not matching. Sugarcane had to be sweet. Previous acharyas, those who have already eaten sugarcane, they are giving reviews. 100 reviews they are giving. Sugarcane is sweet, sugarcane is like this, sugarcane is like that, juice will come out. But the Guru is giving us bamboo. So then we will shout and we'll say, oh, this is not sugarcane, this is bamboo. Right? So in the story of Bali Maharaj, his Guru was Shukracharya. And when Vaman Dev came in front of Bali Maharaj, Shukracharya said, don't listen to him. Don't hear what he says. Don't give what he says. And because he may be Vishnu cunningly in front of you. Like that he said to his disciple Bali Maharaj. But Bali Maharaj, he knew previous acharyas. Who was his previous acharya? He was grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. And he knew that Prahlad Maharaj surrendered everything to Krishna. Then from the Shastras, he knew that we have to surrender everything to Krishna. I am the king, but it's all on the behalf of the Vishnu. So from these 2 points, he said, Guru, you're not speaking the right thing. So therefore, I won't listen to you. And then he looked at Vaman Dev and he said, what do you want? Vaman Dev said, I just want 3 steps of land. And then in that 3 steps, he took the whole kingdom, the whole universe. And then the 3rd step, he said, where to keep? In 2 steps, I took everything. Then Bali Maharaj says, you keep it on my head. What does that signify? Signify means complete surrender.
I
Complete.
completely surrender you.
Yeah, we completely surrender to you. So yeah, so this is the important point.
Mm.
In these three things, the guru also needs to be tested
Mm.
by using these two.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay. Only a person in full Krishna consciousness, full knowledge can understand the activities of a person in Krishna consciousness. Because the person in Krishna consciousness is devoid of all sense gratificatory propensities, it is understood that he has burned up the reactions of his work by perfect knowledge of his constitutional position. So, what is the perfect knowledge? Perfect knowledge is that I am eternal servant of Supreme Personal Godhead Sri Krishna.
Mm.
See, what is our today's knowledge? If I ask you, we will say, I am Mr. So and so, I am Miss So and so, I work here, I earn there, I go here, I go there. Right?
Mm.
If we tell him, what is your relationship with Krishna? I don't know. And I don't care in knowing it also. But perfect knowledge means to know that I am actually servant of Krishna
That's it.
and then to act according to it.
Mm.
So when this thing happens, then whatever actions we may do, we will keep that in the mind that I am doing this for Krishna.
Mm.
Okay, and we will offer it in our mind to Krishna.
Yes.
So that's
Yes.
how then those reactions don't come upon us.
Mm.
Any questions on this?
No.
Okay. He's actually learned who has attained to such perfection of knowledge. Development of this knowledge of eternal servitorship of Lord is compared to fire. Such a fire, one kindled, can burn up all kinds of reactions to work. Okay, so right now we have theoretical understanding that we are servant of Krishna. Okay,
Yes.
now it has to move from theoretical to practical.
Practical.
Yeah. So when theoretical to practical happens, then we understand this um, concept very much. I'll give you one more example which will help you in understanding. Now let's take food. Let's take non-vegetarian food. What kind of action is this? Out of the three,
This
what?
is actually killing the animals, no, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So what kind of action is this?
Sin, it is sin.
Forbidden action, Prabhuji.
Forbidden
Yeah, it
action,
is
sin it
forbidden
is.
action.
And also is sin.
Sin, and there will be some karma, right? Because killing an animal, you're taking away life.
Yeah.
See, even in this, there is severity. Like sometimes some people live in Antarctica and Arctic. There not even one leaf grows, right?
Mm.
So then they have to subsist on animals
Some
only,
On
animals.
animal,
like
animal
fishes and
meat, yes, sir.
whatever reindeer and all that they may get, right?
Prabhuji, if they'll eat that, is it not a forbidden action?
So it becomes a forbidden action with less severity. Less severity is very important because what was the purpose? The purpose was to sustain their life, right?
Mm.
So lower animal can be eaten in that case. So the reaction is smaller. But then when you're living in a nice place where where vegetable food everything is grown up, then it becomes a forbidden action
Mm.
because then you have to face the reactions, and that's what we are seeing, right? There are so many slaughterhouses around
Yes.
and they are killing thousands and thousands of animals, right? So
Animals.
there will be some reaction to it. Not some,
Mm.
there is already reaction to it. Climate change, so many things, pollution and all. So food, we talk like non-vegetable food, definitely we know forbidden action. Okay, so then we will go to vegetarian food. Okay, for vegetarian food, what kind of action is this?
Inaction.
What do we eat in vegetarian food? We
We
eat
eat
plants,
vegetables. Vegetables.
plants,
Fruits,
no?
Fruits,
Plants,
vegetables.
vegetables,
vegetables.
etc.
We eat
Grains and all.
plants, plants, fruits, vegetables, and then spices, and then we use
So is it
sprouts.
inaction or is it legal action? Definitely, it is not forbidden action.
It's not forbidden action. It is
Then what it is? Among the
inaction.
two,
It is legal act, legal only, Prabhuji.
Legal
Why?
action.
Why do you say legal action?
Prabhuji, it is inaction
Because Lord also says that patram pushpam phalam toyam, that we can eat fruits, vegetables. So
Okay.
it is
Okay.
legal only.
So it is legal action. It is not inaction. Meaning there will be some consequences. Why?
Yes,
Because we are killing plants.
plants. But we are
Yes.
offering it to the God before eating.
So there will be some consequences. Some karma will be there. That will come. Now third thing is prasad. This is vegetarian food offered to Krishna. What is this? Is this forbidden action? Is this legal action with consequences? Or is this inaction?
Inaction.
That is inaction.
Yeah, this is inaction. No consequences. Even though we may have killed the plants, but because we offered it to Krishna, you know, we cooked it for Krishna's pleasure. And he says, what is to be cooked? Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. There is no andanam, matanam, chickenam here there. There is only patram pushpam phalam toyam. Patram is leaf, pushpam is flowers, includes cauliflower
Water.
also.
And then leaf.
Patram pushpam phalam. Phalam is fruits. And
Fruits.
toyam is water.
Water.
So grains, milk, all that also comes in that.
Yeah.
So these food we can eat as a vegetarian food, or we can eat as a prasad. If we cook it properly and offer it to Krishna with love, then it becomes an inaction and there is no consequences. There are consequences of eating just vegetarian food also, but there are no consequences of prasadam, which is again vegetarian food only, but it is offered to Krishna. So like that, where were we? Yeah. So once we know perfect knowledge, right, then we will start acting according to it. See, when we know perfect knowledge, we will come to know what is the difference between non-veg food, veg food, right? And we'll come to know what is the advantage of prasad, spiritual advantage, right? Then we will move from non-veg to veg to prasad, right? Yeah. So that's how, then externally everyone will say, okay, now you have become vegetarian, but you also kill plants, so some reaction will be there. But then you will say, oh, no, 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 I offer it to Krishna. Krishna takes away all that reaction. So getting how to convert theoretical knowledge to practical knowledge.
Practical. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
Prabhuji.
now take every activity of it. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. I always take this activity. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. And now direct it towards Krishna. Each of the activity, and then suddenly you will see, okay, everything is going into inaction now. There's no consequences. There's only good results. Okay. So like that. So these are the intricacies. 4.20 त्वक्त कर्म फलसंगम नित्य तृप्तो निराशयः कर्माणि अभिप्रवृत्तो अपि नैनं किंचित करोति स. Abandoning all attachment to the result of his activity. See, what we have to abandon means give up. What we have to abandon? The result? Activity?
Activities.
No, the attachment to those results.
Attachment.
That is
Yes, yes.
Yeah, what we have to give the attachment to it. What is
Sense-
attachment means? Meaning, I will do this activity only because there is a result. I will do this activity because I want that only result. So that is attachment. Like, children, you tell them to do anything, they won't do anything. Then you have to give them one toffee and you have to say, after doing this, you will get this. Then out of great attachment, they will do that activity, right? Yes or no?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Prabhuji.
So Krishna
Yes,
is saying, give up that attachment. Without attachment, do that activity. So, we see children growing up and, when they become young and all, then they are doing that activity of doing homework without any chocolate reward, right? Ever satisfied and independent. Because they have given attachment, they'll be satisfied and they'll be independent, meaning not under any influence. He performs no fruitive action, inaction, no fruitive action, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings. So he may externally see that okay, he's also eating food, everybody is eating food, but no fruitive reaction to it. Why? Because he's eating prasadam. Now you get it?
Yes.
Okay. This freedom from bondage of action is possible only in Krishna consciousness when one is doing everything for Krishna. A Krishna conscious person acts out of pure love for the Supreme Personal Godhead and therefore he has no attraction for the results of the action. He is not even attached to his personal maintenance, for everything is left to Krishna, nor he is anxious to secure things, nor to protect things already in his possession. He does his duty to the best of his ability and leaves everything to Krishna. Such an unattached person is always free from the resultant reaction of good and bad. It is as though he is not doing anything. This is a sign of akarma or actions without fruitive reactions. Okay, akarma means actions without fruitive reactions. Okay, any other action therefore devoid of Krishna consciousness is binding upon the worker. There will be some reaction and it is binding. Binding means he is blamed. I would not say blamed, but he is responsible for that activity. And in that aspect of vikarma, as explained herein before, and that is a real aspect of vikarma, as explained herein before. Okay. 21. Nirasir yata chittatma takta sarva parigraha shariram kevalam karma kurvam nafnoti kil visham. Such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence, perfectly controlled, gives up all sense of proprietorship over his possessions, and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Thus, working, he is not affected by sinful reactions. So, one who has perfect knowledge, he is not affected by sinful reactions. He gives up the sense of proprietorship. This is mine. He gives up that desire. Like Bali Maharaj, he gave up that desire. And therefore, he is not affected by sinful reactions. Okay? Krishna conscious person does not expect good or bad results in his activities. His mind and intelligence are fully controlled. He knows that because he is part and parcel of Supreme, the part played by him as a part and parcel of the whole is not his own activity but is only done through him by the Supreme. When the hand moves, it does not move out of his own accord but by the endeavor of the whole body. A Krishna conscious person is always dotted with the supreme desire, for he has no desire for personal sense gratification. He moves exactly like a part of a machine. As the machine requires oiling and cleaning for maintenance, so Krishna conscious person maintains himself by his work just to remain fit in the action of transcendental loving service of the Lord. So whatever eating, sleeping, mating he is doing it just for minimum maintenance, not any excessive thing. Okay, whatever is minimum required, that he will do. Because body requires some maintenance, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and he will do it as a loving service to the Lord. He is therefore immune to all kinds of reactions of his endeavor, just like an animal who has no proprietorship even over his own body. A cruel proprietor of an animal sometimes kills the animal in his possession. Yet the animal does not process, nor does it has any real independence. A Krishna conscious person fully engaged in self-realization has very little time to falsely possess any material object. For maintaining body and soul, he does not require unfair means of accumulating money. He does not therefore become contaminated by such material sins. He is free from all reactions to his actions. So because he is maintaining very well, he doesn't have to accumulate money through unfair, illegal, criminal ways. Now you get it? Yeah. And therefore he remains free from all reactions. Even in today's world, we see those who don't commit crime, they are happy, right? And those who commit crime, they save taxes and whatever, then they are always worried. Yadricha lava santushtas dvandadito vimatsaraha sama siddhava siddhyaucha kritvapi na nibyate. He who is satisfied with the gain which comes on his own account, who is free from duality and does not envy, who is steady in both success and failure, is never entangled, although performing actions. So the first line, he is satisfied with the gain that comes on its own accord. This has some meaning, this has some understanding that what it means by that. Comes on its own accord, meaning he does put his activity. It is not like he does put his effort. Okay, but he doesn't over endeavor. He doesn't over endeavor. He puts his effort, but not over endeavoring. Then he's satisfied. He's free from duality and does not envy. He does not envy also. Like other people may have succeeded and all that. He does not feel that envy. He says good for them. He's steady in both success and failure.
So that means whatever work he is doing, he is satisfied with that. And whatever money he is getting, he is satisfied. Right, Prabhuji?
He is satisfied,
Hmm.
but not like, okay, only this much only. No.
Hmm.
He puts his 100% there, definitely. Whatever he gets, he is satisfied with it.
Hmm.
But not like, somebody's paying him less or something, then,
Hmm.
it's a balance.
Supposing that means even if he is working 100% and he is getting less, he is satisfied.
No, it depends on the devotee.
Okay.
Some devotee may protest and say that, no, you have not been paid properly. While some devotee say, forget it, I don't care. It depends on, how the devotee approaches each and every problem in life. But what is more important is that he is satisfied with the gain which comes on its own accord. That own accord should satisfy. If he is given the market value, he is happy.
Hmm.
But if he is given under market value, then he will not be satisfied. He will say, oh, why like that? But he won't over endure. Okay, over endure means uh, things which are not really required, but person is still doing
Hmm.
like that. Like let's say um, over endeavor means
I think,
greedy,
Prabhuji, is it like
greediness.
this? Is it like this? The person working 100%
Prabhuji, if they
and what amount that he is getting is very, very, very less. And he's not, and still he says, okay, I have got very less, but still I should have got, but it's okay now, no problem. Is it like that, Prabhuji?
No. It's not like that, Mataji. I mean, we are really talking in terms of today's work and all that, right?
Hmm.
So that's what I'm trying to say, that when it comes on its own accord should meaning that it comes naturally, it comes sensibly. Okay, so and different devotees will approach different way. Some devotees will say that this is not market value, and they may protest.
Hmm.
While some devotees say, I don't care for market value. I'm happy. You know. So so the point to be mentioned is that he will go for satisfaction, which is within his reach. Okay,
Hmm.
if he's been satisfied, like if we take work, right? Work means he should be give the remuneration accordingly. Getting?
Hmm.
And with that much he's satisfied, like that. He doesn't over endeavor means like sometimes some people, they workaholic they are.
Hmm.
If 8 hours a day, they'll unnecessarily work for 12 hours.
Hmm.
Once a while is fine, but every day is not good. That is over endeavoring, right? Yes or
So
no?
they expect. See, I'm working for 12 hours a day, so you have to give accordingly. You have to pay accordingly. So that is called as envy. No, he is not satisfied with what the market value, the whatever it is they have given.
Yeah, the point is that if you over endeavor,
Hmm.
meaning for every endeavor we know how much time it should take, how much money it should give, right?
Mm.
Anything greater than that, then we know we are over endeavoring.
Mm.
Like everyone has their limits, their capacity, right? Beyond that, everyone is doing that, one is over endeavoring, unnecessary. Okay? He
Mm.
does not envy. He's steady in both success and failure. This is very important. Like, sometimes there are failures, sometimes there is success, and one is happy in both times. Not like why at the time of success he's carried away, and the time of failure he's put down, and he's depressed so much. No, he's equilibrium. He's equilibrium.
Mm.
Equilibrium, you understand, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Equinomus. He's equinomus in both success and failure. That person is never entangled. Let's go into the purport. Again, the same point will be there, but let's see. A Krishna conscious person does not make much endeavor even to maintain his body. He is satisfied with the gains which are obtained of their own accord. Now, this is a Krishna conscious person, okay? He's fully Krishna conscious. So, technically, he doesn't need anything. But just to maintain his body, little bit comes, he's happy. Now, we are not at that level. So, we may accordingly act.
Mm.
But once we get a certain amount, which is there a market value and all that, we'll become satisfied. We'll say, okay, fine, right?
Mm.
I don't want anything more than that. He neither begs nor borrows, but he labors honestly as far as is in power, and is satisfied with whatever is obtained by his honest labor. Yeah, so this is the point, By his honest labor, whatever is obtained, he is satisfied with that. He is therefore independent in his livelihood. He does not allow anyone's service to hamper his own Krishna consciousness. Therefore, for the service of the Lord, he can participate in any kind of action without being disturbed by the duality of the material world. The duality of the material world is felt in terms of heat and cold, misery and happiness. A Krishna conscious person is always about duality because he does not hesitate to act in a way for the satisfaction of Krishna. Therefore, he is steady in both success and failure. These are signs are visible when one is fully in transcendental conscious knowledge. So the word duality is used. Duality means it's like a coin. Each side has. So when you touch a coin, you touch both the sides, right?
Mm.
So like that it is. In this world, heat, if you are touching heat, then cold will also be there. If you are touching misery, then sometime later happiness will also come. So this duality will be there. And in happiness, there may be sometimes some misery. In misery, there may be sometimes some happiness. So that kind of combinations will come. But one is above this duality. He is not so much worried what happens and all that. Okay, he's satisfied in being Krishna consciousness. Because he's Krishna conscious, he becomes satisfied, and he doesn't care for all this success, failure, duality, heat and cold and all like that. It's a very high state. Okay, 4.23. Gata sangasya muktasya ज्ञानाव्यवस्थित चेतसा यज्ञाचारतः कर्म samagram praviliyate. A work of a man who is unattached to the modes of nature and who is fully situated in transcendental knowledge merges entirely into transcendence. Becoming fully Krishna conscious, one is freed from all dualities and thus is free from contaminations of material modes. He can become liberated because he knows his constant position in relationship with Krishna, and thus his mind cannot be drawn from Krishna consciousness. Consequently, whatever he does for Krishna, who is the primeval Vishnu. Therefore, all his activity are technically sacrifices because sacrifice aims at satisfying Supreme Lord Vishnu. The resultant reactions to all such work certainly merge into transcendence, and one does not suffer material effects. So, what happens is those who are unattached to the modes of material nature and they are fully satisfied, they don't envy someone, they are equilibrium in happiness and distress and success and failure because they know the transcendental knowledge. Now, it's very important to know that if one knows the transcendental knowledge, then only he can do all these things. Without this knowledge, if he tries to do, then he will be very frustrated. Merges entirely into transcendence. So slowly, slowly they move towards liberation. Any question on this?
No.
Okay. I think we can complete one more. 4.24. Yeah, this is a very interesting verse. Brahmanarpan Brahma Havir Brahmagno Brahmana Hutam Brahmeva Tena Gantavya Brahma Karma Samadhina. A person who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activities, in which the consummation is absolute and that which is offered is also of the same spiritual nature. This is, these wordings may be difficult to understand what is exactly trying to say. But I'll give. But we took this example of food, right? Now, if we take the example of prasad, prasad is what? Is it vegetarian food or non-vegetarian food?
It's a vegetarian food.
Vegetarian food.
No, it is. It is not exactly a vegetarian food. It is a
Partial non-veg. Huh?
no. It is a spiritual food.
Yes,
Now,
yes.
why I use this word spiritual?
Because we are
Because it
offering
has been
to the
offered to the Lord.
Yes. So externally it may look like vegetarian, but actually it has become spiritual. Getting?
Lord.
We know if we eat prasad, then we will get mercy of Krishna. Right? It will help us to spiritually advance. Right? So the food has not remained veg or non-veg or any material thing. It has completely become spiritual. Right? Do you understand
Yes,
how does a food become spiritual?
by offering it to the Lord.
Yeah. So this is what it is saying. Brahmana arpanam. Brahma Havir. Whatever is arpan to that supreme Brahman is also Brahman. And which is offered is also of the same spiritual nature. Like that.
Prabhuji, I have one thought.
Okay.
Prabhuji, actually, I had some people talking about this. That see, all the Kshatriyas, whoever Kshatriyas are there, they're all non-veg because they have to get the strength. So they eat non-veg. So Rama and Krishna also ate non-veg. I told no, they have not taken any non-veg. See, you can take an example of Rama. He went to the exile. He had only root vegetables, fruits like that. And then even Krishna also has given in Bhagavad Gita like that. No, no, you don't know. They were eating non-veg. Is it true, Prabhuji? What is they are saying?
So the Vaishnav kings, right?
Hmm.
They remained vegetarian even if they went to forest. The other kings who are not Vaishnavas, who are not like devotees of the Lord, they would sometimes eat meat
Hmm.
like that. So uh, because Vaishnav kings are very less. So whatever
Hmm.
examples we have, most of the time they are non-Vaishnav kings, and therefore they non-Vaishnav kings, most of the time ate meat. So we
Hmm.
conclude, okay, king means he can eat meat, but it's not like that. A Vaishnav king, a devotee king, he knows that he doesn't have to eat the meat of an animal. Only in very rare case when nothing is available.
But they used to go for hunting and all those, Prabhuji.
Yeah, hunting was not eating. Okay, hunting was simply killing. Why?
Because they have to get trained in that field. Because if suppose battlefield and all, they have to shoot an arrow or anything. They have to be perfect in that
Yeah.
way.
At that time, they shouldn't be, afraid. So they
Hmm.
practice with the animals.
So
And
that is
it's
not
not
a.
it's not like that they will keep practicing.
Hmm.
It's not like they have to clear off the forest with all the animals. No.
So are they not committing sin, Prabhuji? killing an innocent animal?
So the thing is, na, like I said, every ashram and varna, they have their own rules
Hmm.
in where the Kshatriya is allowed to kill.
Okay.
But he has to kill according to the Vedas, according to Dharma. And in the forest, if he goes for hunting,
Hmm.
he has to kill animals which are disturbing the sadhus, which are disturbing nearby people.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Understood.
Yeah. So if say the population of tigers increase in a forest,
Hmm.
and he comes to stand, then there'll be news, right? This tiger
Hmm.
attack, that tiger attack, like that.
Hmm.
So then the king has to go and he has to eradicate few of the tigers, right?
Hmm.
So then it is allowed because he's doing it for a purpose which is according to dharma. But then the king goes like that only for hunting.
Hmm.
Then then some reactions are there. So
Okay.
again, the purpose is very important. For what purpose this whole thing is happening? Okay. Any other question or comment?
No.
Okay. It is 2 o'clock. If there are no questions or comments, we can stop and meet next week. We'll continue with the same verse 2.4.24. Okay. So thank you very much. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Hare